This is a MasterSpa's H2X cross trainer that I purchased for $40,000 approximately 10 years ago. Within the first year, the sides began to fall off. I do need a new cover. Unfortunately, trying to contact the store and the factory always resulted in giving in the same phone number of somebody who wouldn't return my calls. I did have it serviced in the first year by somebody who replaced a couple of parts, but they were the wrong parts, said he'd come back with the correct parts, and he hasn't returned my call in the last 10 years. Anyway, in most spas, what they do is the outside is a steel frame, and they connect the cover lifters to the frame. What they do here, if you look, the outside is actually nothing more than a sheet of plastic and a little sheet of foam. You can see the foam and the plastic. That's all there is. And then what they do is they put wood screws in it to hold the sides on, to hold it all together. And then they just put some cheap vinyl siding on the outside. In fact, screws like this, within the first week of getting it, screws like this started just working their way out. I tried putting them back in, but there's really nothing holding it together. And how it holds on the inside, there's actually, rather than this thing attached to the frame, there's a single piece of wood here, very tiny, that's somehow attached to the steel frame, and then everything is screwed into that with these cheap wood screws. So I'm trying to get a new cover, trying to get the sides all replaced. Unfortunately, because there's no servicing, I had to have another company come in and replace the pumps, but now the sides have fallen off. So I'm trying to get I may hire a contractor to get this all replaced with a wood frame. So pretty much it falls apart on all sides. Now, the biggest problem though is that this cover lifter, this strap broke many years ago, and nothing you can do about that. So what happened is the cover lifter puts its weight on the sides. So when you lift the cover, all that weight is now, you see where all that weight just comes on this cheap plastic frame. And so with that cheap plastic frame, it just all falls apart immediately. There doesn't appear to be any way to fix it except to build a new frame. The inside works because I've had to hire a separate company to do that. These clips also in the wind break off of this cheap plastic side. Again, it's just a couple of screws that go in. You can see a screw there. And so these fall off, so I had to put a weight on it to keep the wind from lifting up the cover. It's really, the insides of the spa are very nice. It does an almost reasonable job of keeping the proper temperature. And I like some of the jets. They work great. The seats are fine. But they really chinched out on the outside, that rather than attaching the cover lifters to the frame, rather than put any kind of serious material, we looked at some other companies. We looked to replace this with Endless Pools and a couple other brands. And what they do is, again, it's a steel frame, and then on that they put up a very serious piece of covering that's much more solid. But MasterSpa's seems to think that, you know, after a couple of years, who cares? You already paid for it. So I'm sending this off to MasterSpa's to see if this is fixable at all. Otherwise, I'm going to have a contractor build some kind of wooden frame that I'll paint on this thing. Thank you.